Hello, one and all. Yes, exactly. We are here with another tier list ranking video. Last time we looked at the Dimension 20 seasons overall. This time we are looking at the specific characters of the Intrepid heroes. Now, just to be clear, these characters have all the characters in them, except from Cloudward Ho, because Cloudward Ho is right now ongoing. It is going strong. Maybe I will make an update when it's finished, but I don't want to put the Cloud.ho characters in here because they have not time to shine in their full potential, only with like 3 episodes out at this time, at the moment of the recording. So before we begin, last time I had 6 categories, now I made 5 out of them because I felt like 6 were 5 it feels better to me. So our top tier is Blimey. The second tier is I was invisible. And then we have Chef Manhattan is like the middle of the road. Then we have Honor Them, because we have to honor it. And then the last one are like the red grinders. I'm gonna say, as last time as well, none of these characters, even if they would land in the bottom tier, are like truly bad. We are here to have discussion about it, and none of these characters, or like last time with the seasons, I truly dislike. I can say that right off the top. However, there are favorites and there are ones that I'm not really caring for, I'm gonna be honest. And if you disagree with my tier list, then of course tell me how you would put your tier list together. I'm interested in hearing that. As always, I'm here mostly to talk about Dimension 20 and to talk about Dropout because I don't have a lot of people to talk about this with and I want to talk about it. So let's do that. I didn't think a lot about what are the criteria. So what could be criteria for good characters? Like, first of all, I want to say I'm mostly going or try to base this on the character and not on the player. So the first one we have here is our wooden boy, and I will not so much talk about Lou. I try to talk about our Pinocchio. Of course, there will be like overlaps. You cannot talk about Pinocchio without talking about Lou. I know that, or like you cannot talk about Fig without talking about Emily. But it is more so the characters really in the story, the decisions that they make, and maybe how funny they are. In general, what do these characters bring to the table for this particular story, for this particular setting that we are in? Okay, like I feel like I want to judge it like in that criteria and not based on the performers themselves. Hoping I make sense here. So let's begin. Pinocchio, where would I put Pinocchio? I'm gonna be honest, he comes for me like in the middle of the road, so I'm gonna put him in Chef Manhattan. It's not like that I have many standout moments in my head. I mean, the whiskey is fun, the way that he talks is fun, but the character himself, I feel like, he's a liar, but I have no problem with the lying part. I have more the problem that he is easily lied to. Like he's easily tricked, I feel like, Not necessarily maybe the smartest of the bunch. So, okay, we'll leave him in the middle of the road. Maybe I would even put him lower. Yeah, I'm gonna put him lower, honestly. I'm gonna put him in honor. Like, we have to honor him, but I will not say that I'm impressed with him. Next, we have the prince. You could say that he went through a transformation, literally, but I'm gonna be honest, he is not speaking to me. I know that he is like important to the story in the sense that we get like a transformation that we can follow and see, because Pinocchio we only have the 2 stages, real boy and wooden boy, but with the frog prince we get like different kind of stages. However, I don't really agree with his views and I'm not really interested in seeing him succeeds, if this makes sense. Like I'm not like rooting for him, especially. I find him fun when he's around, and he's pitiful. Like he's truly pitiful, and I'm gonna put him in the lowest tier, honestly, because I don't really feel like we would miss much if we would have an other character here in this setting. And I know I'm starting off strong maybe here, and there will be other characters that I would gonna say like yes, but this character in particular does not do it for me. Of the in the Never After realm of the six PCs that we have, is he your favorite? And be honest, is he your favorite? Is he even in top three spots? Then we have Sleeping Beauty. I'm gonna say Sleeping Beauty for me is totally middle of the road. She is like, I like her character arc a little bit more of like I want to find true love and then realizing no, I don't really need that. Like maybe it is because I also have like connections to this story in a way, like the story of you think you need the one love and then you realize kind of no, not really, or like you can kind of choose. Me, maybe I'm reading into it, but me as a gay person who was told like no you need to be with women and then realizing no this is not the life meant for me, and then also that maybe the one true love is not so easy to obtain, so I needed to adjust the screen a little bit because the pictures were like bigger than I thought. Yeah, whatever. So next one we have one of my favorites, like I'm just gonna say Little Red Riding Hood goes in the blimey category for me personally. She is such a great character. I love the scene with her in the cottage where she waits and waits and waits for the woodsman with her axe to show up, and then at the end she needs to well kill the big bad wolf and eat him to survive. That is like a tragic story, and then what happens after with her going to back to her family. Like she has, in my opinion, the strongest backstory, and I just like this transformation that we see in the Never After, truly from a good character into a kind of bad character, and she struggles with that. She is my favorite of all of the Never After characters for sure, and she adds a lot to this world. Like if I think of Never After, I feel like she encapsulated this the best. Now, Mother Goose, I will put Mother Goose in. I thought I was invisible because she's such an important part to the story. Like, the story could not work, Never After could not work without her book, without her drive to find not only her son, but also to put things back to right. At the same time, realizing that what is right? Is it the status quo? Do we need to change it? I think like she's the one at the end who makes the wish, right? Yes, the nursery rhyme with that everybody had a book and everybody had a pen to write their own story. And the last one we have Puss in Boots or Pip. And I for a long time I didn't understand that Pip stands for Puss in Boots. I know why. He for me goes into, I'm gonna say like also middle of the road. Like I like some shenanigans that he got into, and that he's just like a little cat who wants to chill out, and that he's like this trickster. I wish, however, with Puss in Boots there was more to it. Like I feel like the trickster storyline could have been more explored. I wanted there to be like, it feels like the tricksters, just like the fairies, kind of would know more about this world, just with the difference that the tricksters don't care about it. Like they understand like the kind of hop from book to book or story to story, while the fairies also know that and want to keep it that way, like that they want to keep the status quo, while the tricksters are just like, yeah, we know this is how it is supposed to be, but let's see what happens if we do it differently. But that's not how it was played, which is fine. Nevertheless, the character in itself is really funny and cute, and I like him a lot. But still, potential that was missed, in my opinion. Now we come to the bad kids, probably one part that people skipped forward to in the video. If you did so, no problem. Hey, now first off, we have Miss Applebee's, Saint Applebee's. This is gonna be a tough one because, of course, she's gonna go into Blimey. Not only now I'm gonna speak about the outside character Ellie being wild with her, like her first time playing it, but really in character, she is such a good and giving character, even though she is so chaotic. And yeah, she is chaotic, but I love that about her, and it fits the world of Fantasy High. Now we are in a different genre. Like now we are not in the Never After anymore. We are in Fantasy High, and I'm also looking at the characters in the specific genre. I mean, the specific, like if it's horror, if it's fantasy, if it's futuristic, sci-fi. Like I'm also trying to categorize them in their respective um, worlds that they yes. And I just don't know. Like the world of Anvil is so chaotic, and she encapsulates that really greatly, in my opinion. So definitely blind me. Then we have Riz Gutgag. Who I'm gonna say I thought I was invisible. I always have to say it that way. Probably I will not always say it that way, but yeah. Riz is a really interesting character. I like that they made the decision of making him asexual. I just like that we have the representation of that. He is a really intelligent character. He is like really caring for his friends. However, of course, he is also blinded by success in a way, or like he is a workaholic, which of course is his downfall. Well, not necessarily downfall, but his flaw. He's a really specific flaw. Next one is Fabian. I'm just gonna say Fabian also goes in Blimey for me personally. Fabian is such a fun character. On the one hand, he is really cool. On the other hand, he's like also really stupid. And that mixture is like great and it is greatly portrayed. I love his story or his arc that he has with his father. And even beyond that, like that is something that I find like really interesting. And even beyond that, I find it like really gratifying that he can grow with the absence of his father, and not everything has to do with his dad anymore. It is great because I was kind of scared, but worried that when his father was gone, what would happen with this character? Would he become kind of like stale? But it didn't happen at all. Like there was still a lot going on around him, and that had also to do with him and his own pride. Like now it's not about his dad anymore, now it's about him, and I love that for him. And we will see where the journey takes us. Edine also goes into Blimey. You see already, like the bad kids, of course, pretty high. We all love them, but they also had 3 seasons. They have 3 seasons to shine and to develop their characters. So of course they're gonna be pretty high. I feel like that's pretty natural. I love her. I loved her from the beginning to now. I love that she's the Elven Oracle and doesn't really give a shit about it. Like that's not fully true, but she's not like, no, I'm not the Elven Oracle. I'm more like the Oracle for everybody. However, at the same time, I never signed up for that job, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like nobody can really tell me. I feel like she has a heartbreaking backstory. Like her backstory, or like story as a whole with her family, is so gut wrenching. Now we come to Gorgak. Gorgak is the only bad kid that will get a Chef Manhattan from me. I'm gonna be honest, Gorgak is kinda yeah, he's middle of the road. There's nothing really super special about him. He kind of grounds the group in a way, and but a lot of his story has kind of to do either with his family, which is fine, but his family is actually really loving. Like all 4 of his parents seem to be like really lovely. I kind of would like to see more of his orcish parents, but we don't need to. And then the whole Zelda thing, like that is kind of like where I have a gripe with Gorgak. Like the whole Zelda storyline, I never saw it going anywhere, and as we saw in the last season, she was not even around. I've said this in another episode, or not just episode, in another video of mine, that I want Zelda to have more screen time. I want more from Zelda, and I want more from Gorgak, and I didn't feel like they came together in a great way that was like interesting to me at least. And now that they've broken up, it still is not interesting that much to me. It is kind of like, okay, Gorga, you swing your ex around. I love you, and you have great moments in the story. Like you're super strong, like epic moments, like taking down this huge worm basically on your own, and funny comedic moments as well. But I'm not so attached to you on an emotional level. I feel like Gorgat has like a lot of fans out there, and I would like to hear from you all what you think about this or my take here. Because again, it's not that I dislike him, but I'm just not fully connected to him. So, and now we have another one. Fig. Fig comes in also blimey. Fig is like is this even, do we even need to talk about this? Like, if any character deserves this tier, probably her. Like, is she my favorite overall? Like, we can talk about this later when we have created the list, but she is close to the number one spot. Her backstory, her interaction with the world, her interaction with other people, her interactions with herself as well. Like, there is a lot going on here. And also great music. Are you guys interested in me maybe reacting to Dimension 20 music? Like, I know there are fans who make songs and I have listened to some of them. I don't know if I've listened to all of them. Maybe there is something we can do there. Like, I will think about this, or you can let me know if you would be interested in that. However, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a musician and I'm not, in general, music is not my big passion. So we will see. Maybe I will do it, maybe not. It's just something that came into my mind because of it. And yeah, she is a musician. That's also great. Like, love her in all kind of ways. Now we go into a new setting, a new era. We go into the world of Candia, or like the crown of candy. I'm gonna put Fearbolt at. I thought I was invisible because Fearbolt is like really fun and he's such a strong character. Like with Fearbolt, I didn't get many surprises, which is fine. He always kind of acted the way that I expected him to act, but that does not diminish him because he's such a strong character with a strong sense of self and duty, and I just really like him. Not a truly flawed character, I would say, like in my opinion, but nevertheless, I enjoy him a lot. Now we come to Lapan. Now Lapan basically had maybe a half season, not even. He had not a lot going on. Like he had this one great moment, of course, with the Bob and with the carrot guy. It was a big brain move on his part. However, I need to compare it to the other characters, and I have to put him in Jeff Manhattan. I feel like, even though, no, I will put Le Pen one higher. Also, I thought I was invisible because I wanted to see more of him. Like really, like when Le Pen died, it was gut wrenching. It was not cute. It was like truly, I want more of you, and it is so sad that we didn't get more of him. Like there was one time later on in the episode where he talks to, yeah, but the Peppermint Kid, and we got a little bit more of him there, but overall, I will put him in. I thought I was invisible, but that just shows the kind of impact that Japan had on me, or on us as a community, on the world in general as well. Then we come to Cumulus. Now, Cumulus is, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of like, I don't know who you are and what you're doing here. I liked him in combat. Like Cumulus shined a lot in combat, but other than that, I was not really interested in him as a character. I'm gonna say I need to honor him. It is not like that I fully dislike him, as I said, but I cannot put him into the red grinders because there's nothing necessarily that I dislike about him. It is just like, do you really want to be here? That is kind of like the feeling that I got from him. Then we have, I feel like, is their name Willem? I actually don't even remember the name of them. Yes, no, where should I put them? Probably also here. Like, I need to honor them because they did a lot of things and they were around the whole time. The backstory, like, or the story in itself with the family, yeah, but like, it is a kid that had a bad lot in life, but just kind of rolled with the punches. Comedically, there were some funny moments, but overall, I'm also not so connected. Like, I was more connected to the Preston, like the just little pet, but the character in itself, I'm not feeling that connected to. I just realized I thought that they would be higher on the list. Now that I look at this, like at the list, I feel like they're in the right place. Wow. As I said, I did not plan this at all. Like I'm just going kind of off my yacht right now. They feel right. I don't feel like emotionally connected to. I think Ruby is the red one and Jet is, yes, this one should be Jet. Now, Jet and Ruby are they middle of the road? Yeah, no, I could put them together. Yes, let's just put them both together. It is kind of wild, but they are twins, and I'm usually not a fan of throwing twins together just because they are twins, but they did kind of do the same for me. I like the interaction. Like I like that we had like pieces who were like this strongly connected. And it was heartbreaking when one of them died. But that was like their strongest moment, which is kinda sad that like the strongest moment is when you die or like one of you dies. But other than that, they were not really like rule following, they were not obedient, which they don't have to be. Like when we look up there, Fig, for example, is also not an obedient child. But I don't know. The difference is that it felt like the stakes were much higher. You know, again, we're judging this in the realms that they are in the campaigns that they are in. And with Fig, it feels like fun, like the disobedient child. It feels like it fits. We are in a high school setting. With those two, it kind of even felt at times a little bit annoying, I'm gonna be honest. But I don't want to put them lower because they were always concerned with, especially the dad, with the well being of the others. So they came around, they did come around. Now we have Sakarina. Yes, I'm have to put Sakarina down here. Like I don't like this character. I don't know what it is, but again, and I'm gonna say this specifically here. This is not an Emily X for slander because look at other characters and hers where they stand. Like we have two characters of hers that are in Blimey, but this one just did not do it for me. So that there's nothing against Emily. She's a great player. Now, really talking about the character, I just didn't like her. Like I just didn't care for her. Like I at times there were like even I was like, just can we not just kill her? Like I just didn't like her. It's simple as that. I felt like she was wanting something from the family without saying that she wants something, like quite opposite. Like she was kind of like, I don't expect you to be my father or you to be my sister. But then the vibe would be she would be disappointed that she didn't get a family treatment, even though she said she didn't expect that. And I can get that her story, like her backstory and everything, it makes sense that maybe somebody will come out that way and it is kind of jaded, that she tries to put up a strong front and her inner child says differently. Yeah, I just couldn't with her. Now that I look at this more and more, like I know at the beginning I said the bottom list is kind of like doesn't mean that I hate these characters, and I don't. I don't hate these two, but I just either wanted more from them or I feel like we could kind of switch them out in a way. King MFR is for me, yeah, I thought I was invisible. He is like has the most story backstory of them all and really interesting one. Like his sisters, his marriage, his two marriages, all his children, like three, including Sakarina. Like he had a lot to juggle. He was like truly the vocal and the center point of this season, I feel like, and he carried it out well, in my opinion. Also in combat, he was strong. He did not have that many comedic moments, but again, in this setting, in the setting of Crown of Candy, it is not necessarily comedic. It doesn't need to be that. It is more like stern. It is more like the heavy weight of the crown, literally, And he is a character that portrayed that. I like him a lot, and I feel a lot for him. Like I feel a lot of sympathy for him. I mean. Now, again, a change. We go into the future, even though I don't know even if it's supposed to be the future of our time, but in general, we go into the world of the Starstruck Odyssey. Good, now we come to Barry. Barry, I'm not quite sure. Is it Chef Manhattan? Yes, no, he is. Like the hijinks, I need to change my mindset again to this kind of story that we're toiling here. And like just the berry battalion is like so much fun. And even though like they're all the same copies of a bro, the idea of that is great. And just then the sadness that only one of them is left. However, I don't see much more there. Like it was like his story is pretty simple, but then again, Barry is a simple character, so I feel like Jeff Manhattan, like in the middle of the road, feels fitting for him. Now we have the next one, and I'm going to be honest, I also don't remember his name. Is this a bad sign or a good sign? I feel like it's the same like as with our peppermint boy here. Well, now I have to think about it. It is a strong commentary on like the that you need to literally pay to breathe, you know, like how medical bills can suffocate you. So I do like that aspect of it. However, in like such a hijinks and whimsy kind of world, maybe that was like even a little bit too dark. But then again, the Starstruck Odyssey has like this extreme whimsy contrasted with this extreme, well, capitalism. When I think of his backstory, he was also not the brightest of them all. You know, like he made some bad life decision, which does not mean that if you make bad life decisions that you automatically less of a person. However, me as a viewer did not fully enjoy it, and I was not feeling for him that much because I was kind of like, well, he low-key kind of brought this on himself, not fully, like not totally, but I hope you know what I mean. It was like not somebody like stole his body part. Honor the Cock is fine, but more like kind of, well, no, I feel like Chef Manhattan. Like Chef Manhattan is more like the fine category, and this down here is kind of like, do you even want to be here? And he wanted to be here. He wanted to be in the story. And yeah, the Red Grinders is kind of like, can you please go away? Kind of category. So maybe, please go away. Do you want to be here? Middle of the road, okay, yeah. Really likable and just Chef's Kiss, unbeatable. The next one, love of my life. I'm still not sure what her class is. And do I want to know? I don't think I want to know. But just like this chaotic energy again, great move, great swings, and what I love about her, Margaret, I think was her name. God, in general, I'm bad with names, so maybe if I don't remember somebody's names, that is necessarily the final decision where to go here. I love that she could, especially out of combat, she did so much, you know. I never seen a character like any of these characters here on this list. I feel like run a tight ship, pun intended, how she does, you know, and she is just great with communications in a way. Even though when it is about her ex, then not that much, but that's fine. In general, she knows what she wants and she knows how to get it. Yeah, I don't really know what more to say except that also love her hair, the suit, her design. By the way, didn't really talk about the designs. I just realized in general, I love all the designs. Like I'm somebody who is like really a visual person, so I'm not going to really talk about that. Maybe we can have like a fashion off between these characters, like where we rank them not on the character themselves, but more about their fashion sense. Now, the next time we have Siobhan's Equestrianism, was it that? And that goes in. I thought I was invisible. I like her a lot. We could also put her down here when I said, what's it called? Do you even want to be here? Because at the end of the season, she didn't want to be there anymore, which is fully great. But I like her a lot. I like her trying to sell stuff to become her own boss. I like it that she does not necessarily understand how others work, but she is willing to put in the work to try to understand them. Chaotic aesthetic is always fun, and that she can go into a robot and control that in a sense is also great. In terms of backstory, there's actually not a lot. Like she is just like a lot of fluff, maybe is that the right term? But good fluff, where it's kind of like, oh, I love you. You're just every scene that she's in, every time just makes me smile. It just she brings a lot of joy. The same goes for Sandra Sidney, like also a character where I like the backstory a lot, like the android that was dismissed and just went her own person in a way, and then the Keeper of the Souls, and the whole thing with the Chunk Mother as well, like the connections that she made and the journey that she's on, and to finding out who she really is. I enjoyed that a lot. Position that she has on the ship, again, same with the Aquagenesen. She was the gunner, and Japan's character was like the telecommunication person, and they both did their job well, like really good, and had like amazing moments, clutch moments. Then we have Norman Skip Takamori. I would now Okay, let's be honest. Norman, like just Norman, not the slug. Norman would be down here. Like he is not really a great character, but I feel like he's designed to be that. So maybe I would even put the normal Norman, yeah, down at Honor the Sea. But he would be somewhere down here, to be fully honest, because I did not really enjoy him, but he needed to be what he needed to be. Now, with the brain slug in there, I'm gonna put him in Chef Manhattan, just because the brain slug didn't really do much, but it was like funny joke, and this was not a joke in my opinion, that it was a joke that kept on giving in a way, and like a situation where it was just kind of like comedic gold. However, besides that, even though the brain slug was like really important to the story in the sense that they were the big bads of the whole season, this brain slug empire, he didn't really necessarily do that much for the story in general. Now we come to the last season that we have here, and that is, of course, the Unsleeping City. I just want to say really quick, the Unsleeping City has, in my opinion, the best logo. I just love it. Like the Yeah, if you know it, you know, like the moon, and when you turn it upside down, it looks like New York City. It is great. I just love this image. First, we have Misty Moore, or Rowan. For me, I will put them together as one character, and she goes for me. Where would I put her? Yeah, no, I would put her in. I thought I was invisible because she is great. She brings a lot of joy. All these characters also had 2 seasons. Her character in the second season was kind of like weaker, but I feel like that was because we did not think that we would lose Iga. It was kind of worked out good that there was a backup character for Siobhan that she could jump into. But I did not feel like in the second season, especially, that she did a lot. But in the first season, I liked her. Great moments, like interaction with the rest of the world. That's where she shined. Like the backstory, we never fully got off on her, which is fine. She is kind of like a mysterious character, and we like mysterious characters at times. They can be fun. And not always the mystery needs to be fully solved. Now, Iga is kind of I mean, she would literally be there. Do you even want to be here? Because she didn't want to be there. And she got a little bit more than half a season. Again, I did not fully connect with her. I'm gonna be honest. And there were like great moments with her children. Like I liked these moments the most when she was like talking to her daughter. But in general, she did not really seem to be that involved. That is her character. Like basically her character was played the right way, but me as a viewer did not necessarily enjoy that. Okay, now we have Sophia Lee, or Sophia Bicicleta. Sophia Bikes, Miss Bikes. Honestly, I have to put her in. Yeah, blimey. She deserves it. She's great. Like, Sophia is one of a kind, good heart, and I was really impressed with her in the second season. I'm gonna be honest, I personally feel like that she got kicked out of the monastery is some bullshit, and Brandon tried to bait her time and time again, and I feel like that he kind of got her on a technicality, and I felt like Brandon expected her maybe to act out more, but she didn't because she knew not to. She had to be careful, and was really careful, and at the end she still got kicked out. Which I'm not gonna say like, oh, that makes no sense at all. It is okay, but I feel like not that the people would act the way that they did. in the monastery, but we needed a story to go in a certain direction. But I was really impressed with her, like seeing that she was that somebody tried to play her and that she would not give an inch, basically. And in besides that, her backstory with Dale and how much love there is between those two is so cute. Now, the next one we have Kagresh. Kagresh, honestly, for me, also Blimey, such a great character. I love his voice, or like the voice that Murph does for him. But besides that, like, I feel like we see somebody who has learned their lesson. Like, they got punished, but and they learned the lesson. However, they're still in the punished form. So basically, just by learning your lesson does not mean that you automatically get, well, that the punishment goes away. No, you have to, the lesson that is learned, keep on upholding it and keep on working on yourself and keep on doing the good that you want to do now in the world. And he is just great. And like, he's funny. Again, the backstory is great. In the world itself, he had such a huge impact, like that we even see in season 2, like the foundation by Ricky that we will come to was created. Yeah, and the sacrifice that he makes at the end. Now, on the other hand, we have Cody. I don't know. For me, Cody could be down here. However, there's one thing that saves Cody that I'm gonna put him up here, and that is the fact that he is really, really funny. Like, I honestly don't like Cody. I just don't. But he is funny. And unintentional funny. And oftentimes he is the butt of the joke, like it is not even like I try to be funny. He is just really a sad character. But as a viewer, I like to see him brought low. I do like that. Towards the end, there is some character development there, so I have to give him a little bit credit for that, I guess. Then we have our super sexy firefighter who also goes in Blimey for me. Like, I love Riki Mitsui. He is such an interesting character. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the second season did wonders for him. Like, in the first, like, if he was in the first season only, then probably like middle of the road, honestly. But I feel like the second season was great for him. Because in the first season he was kind of like just a good guy, a really good guy, like the best guy. In the second season, there was like the whole thing with the questing blade that did kind of bug him, and I liked to see that side of him, to see that there are things that he does not like and that he struggles with, because he's kind of like Mary Sue. I feel like for guys, it is called like a Gary Sue and not a Mary Sue. Okay, the next we have Peter Plucker. I'm gonna put it in the middle of the road. Like, I'm gonna put it in Jeff Manhattan. Now, this might surprise some people, but I feel like Pete, for me, when he was low, like for me as a viewer, then he was really low, and when he has heights, then they're like really high. There are moments where I truly was like, no, like don't do this. Like, especially in the first season, he made like a lot of bad decisions, and like not really great ones. Where I was like, no, oh, but of course he didn't know it. Like with the magic world that he was in. I mean, he was the one who basically was the reason that all of these insects came to New York and everything. Me as a viewer, I'm of course like, don't say it, don't do that. You will unleash this on New York. But of course, he didn't know it. But me as a viewer, I knew it just because this is how the story goes, and I'm just like, no. And yeah, but there are also great high points, especially with Kingston, especially with Nod, the Grey Baby. So they're like up and downs in the first season. Now in the second season, I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like there was a lot with him. Like, there are great moments, don't get me wrong. In the second season, there was also not so much going on with him. I feel like, even though he is the Vox Phantasma, maybe I'm forgetting something big. And I feel like if anything, I would bump him one up. He could be also up here, but I feel more like when I compare him to the other characters in these categories. Yeah, no, he goes up. He goes up. He definitely goes up. I just saw like the especially Madagusa, there, and I feel like this is like interesting. Like Ellie has sometimes these characters that mirror, not even mirror, but kind of like she plays a lot of the characters that are like divine in a sense, you know. But again, that's more about Ellie than the character themselves. But I did compare Peach to Mother Goose right now in my brain, and I'm like, okay, all the reasons why Mother Goose is there, I feel like Peach should also be there, even though the setting is different. We have a different setting though. Now we come to the last character, and it is Kingston Brown from Uptown. Blimey, like such a great character. Like his sense of community, the way that he speaks, the priorities that he has. I don't feel like I see a lot of flaws in him. I can see he has like troubles, maybe to go out of New York, and he never went out of New York, as far as I know. People could contribute these to flaw. I just feel like he is such a grounded character, such a rounded character as well. Now let's have a final look over our tier list and see if this feels all good. But yeah, I have to say, I feel good about this. It suits me right. The last two that we have, like the Frog Prince and Sakurina, again, I'm gonna say, it doesn't mean I truly dislike these characters. They have their place in the story. Like all these characters have a place in the story. But again, we are here to discuss this and like to talk about it and a little bit nerding out about it. So let me know in the comments what you think. How would you put the characters here? And I hope I could make sense of why the characters are, for me personally, where they are right now in this tier list. With that being said, give this video a like and a comment and share it if you want to. I'm really grateful for this. Every content creator is grateful if you interact with the content. And so don't do it just for me, do it with other people as well that you follow and that you want to engage with to make sure that the content stays around longer. I hope you all have a great day. I hope that everything that you want to achieve will be achieved in a timely manner. And yeah, we will see us next time. Bye.